All societies need to be based on the solid foundations of adherence to the rule of law. No community can function well outside the context of the rule of law. In its absence, there is no order, only anarchy. There is no justice, only unfairness and oppression. There is no progress, only decline and decay.
The rule of law is not just an abstract concept, it's not just an abstract principle, but it's something that actually affects the lives of women, men, and children.
Because without having judicial reforms and rule of law, we will never have a stable economic development, fair and well-functioning civil society. It is obvious that strengthening the rule of law is essential to every member of society who wants justice, economic and social progress.
It is very important for me that we continue to have measurement and the definition of the rule of law and how it is adhered to. And that when we do that, we should use internationally accepted norms and standards. I say so because in my view, the universality of the rule of law cannot be overemphasized. In the developing world, we generally have a political leadership that always looks at the rule of law as a foreign imposition from the West, without regard to the fact that the rule of law is in fact probably even more important for the developing world. It is the developing world that needs, for instance, foreign direct investment, which would improve the lives of your ordinary person in the street. And foreign direct investment is directly related to the observance of the rule of law.
Determining how to improve rule of law is one of the really big problems in the world today. Until the World Justice Project, there wasn't a good universal definition of rule of law, and there weren't any studies that measured it across the globe in a concrete way. And what WJP has done is come up, first of all, with a very useful definition of rule of law that looks at it across a bunch of different dimensions. And second, has gone out and gathered on-the-ground data from a large number of countries to come up with this rule of law index.
If you want to improve the rule of law, you need a way to measure it. The World Justice Project's Rule of Law Index helps the global community by doing just that. It offers independent, comprehensive data that can be used to drive policy, set benchmarks, and guide successful program development.
The World Justice Project's Rule of Law Index helps enormously not only to the public officials, political leaders and chief justices, but mainly to the ordinary citizens from all over the world.
The World Justice Project's Rule of Law Index is a useful tool. It takes a very complicated but important concept or topic, the rule of law, and breaks it down in a rigorous but accessible way. There are a number of things I like about it. One is that it combines expert opinion with public opinion, which is unusual. Most indexes, it's a choice of one or the other. It covers many countries, almost 100 countries and maybe more soon, and it covers both the United States as well as countries on the developing world side. So it's not a one-sided index that's only looking at some parts of the world. It's useful for research, and I also use it sometimes when I'm preparing to go to a country and want to get a quick overview of the rule of law situation, because it covers so many different facets of the legal institutions and the functioning of those institutions in a country that it's a good backgrounder when you need to get up to speed quickly on a particular country. So it's general, it's specific, it's rigorous but accessible. It's an unusual project to take such a complicated concept and make a useful index that's good for practitioners and scholars alike.
We've seen these index scores and rankings cited by everyone, from heads of state to journalists to citizens all around the world. It's helping transform the global conversation about the rule of law, and in doing so, providing a new source of knowledge that can improve lives everywhere.
It's a great pleasure for me to introduce the 2014 Rule of Law Index. This is a powerful tool. It's a tool that can take the deficits and the needs of a particular justice system off the dusty pages of legal text and put them into reality. It's a tool that can bridge the gap between what we think we need and tell us how we can actually achieve it.
The struggle to truly establish the rule of law is a long and often a very difficult one. It is indeed a never-ending journey, as no nation can claim to have attained it fully. Any community that embarks on that journey will require guidance. It will require signposts along the way, marking the distance covered, the stations reached, the challenges that remain, and a roadmap of the remaining part of the journey. The Rule of Law Index provides that guidance in an objective manner as a universal standard for self-evaluation and assessment, and as a compass for steering our nations forward in the march for social, political, and economic justice and advancement. In the hands of individuals and of state institutions, the index provides the means for ensuring that we all become servants of the law, and that in that way we all thus become truly free men and free women in a fair and prosperous society. I thank you very much.